Right now, you might be sitting on a soft couch or at your office desk with a steaming cup of coffee in hand, maybe even lying in bed scrolling on your phone. You feel the world around you is utterly calm. But this is merely a sweet lie your brain weaves for you. Because on a macroscopic, physical scale, you are seated on a massive interstellar cannonball. At this very moment, the Earth is hurtling through space, carrying you at a terrifying speed. Near the equator, this speed reaches 1,674 kilometers per hour. That's 465 meters per second, significantly faster than the speed of sound at standard conditions. If an invisible god's hand were to press a cosmic pause button, bringing this 60 septillion-ton rocky planet to an absolute, instant halt in 0 seconds, a global, physics-based catastrophe rooted in Newton's first law would immediately commence. Due to the law of inertia, even though the Earth has stopped, you, the air around you, your house, the oceans, and everything not securely locked to the bedrock deep within the Earth's core would continue to hurtle forward at the original velocity. If you are near the equator, this means you instantly gain a starting velocity twice that of a cruising Boeing 747. Before you can even blink, your body would be flung out like a projectile launched from an electromagnetic railgun. This isn't just hitting a wall. At 1,600 kilometers per hour, the human body's contact with a wall is no longer a collision. It's a splatter. Your bones, muscles, and internal organs would withstand thousands of GS of overload during the microsecond of impact, instantly liquefying into an unrecognizable biological slurry. And that wall itself is disintegrating at the same speed. The kinetic energy released is equivalent to a tactical nuclear bomb strapped to every single person. Whether you are on the top floor of a skyscraper or hiding in a sturdy basement, the outcome is the same. In this instant, the vast majority of the world's billions of people would be physically obliterated before their brains could even process the electrical signal of what happened. The civilization humanity painstakingly built over hundreds of thousands of years would meet its end in the first second of the Earth's halt. If you were lucky enough to have survived the initial inertial impact because you live in a high-latitude region, say near the poles, don't celebrate too soon, because a far more terrifying disaster will quickly follow. When the Earth stops spinning, the atmosphere enveloping it does not break along with it. It continues to rotate wildly at its original rotational speed. This means a supersonic storm with winds reaching 1,600 kilometers per hour will instantly sweep across the globe. To put this in perspective, the strongest Category 5 hurricane on Earth has core wind speeds of merely 250 kilometers per hour, yet it can easily demolish wooden houses and flip cars. The current wind speed is more than 6 times that of a Category 5 hurricane. It has transcended the category of wind and become a solid battering ram made of gas. More terrifyingly, when air flows over ground obstacles at supersonic speed, it creates severe shock waves and aerodynamic heating. Just like a spacecraft re-entering the atmosphere, the surface air, in its violent friction with buildings and mountains, will instantly surge to hundreds of degrees Celsius. This supersonic heat wave will sweep the surface like a blowtorch. Forests will ignite and turn to ash in an instant. The glass curtain walls of skyscrapers will melt, and reinforced concrete structures will shatter like cookies under the dual assault of wind pressure and intense heat. The entire Earth's surface will become a massive supersonic wind tunnel, and any human construct exposed on the surface, even tanks and bunkers, will be torn to shreds by this scorching torrent, then flung into the stratosphere to become deadly orbital shrapnel. In this cataclysm, the most massive fluid on the Earth's surface, the ocean, will also transform into the most merciless destroyer. Water possesses immense mass, and therefore, immense inertia. When the seabed rapidly halts due to the sudden loss of rotational speed, the world's oceans will surge irresistibly eastward, like water sloshing in the tank of a truck hitting the brakes. But this is no ordinary wave. It is a super wall of water, possibly over 5 kilometers high, spanning an entire hemisphere in width. This force, following the cold logic of momentum conservation, will strike the western coasts of continents with billions of tons of kinetic energy. Imagine the entire Atlantic Ocean crashing onto the eastern seaboard of the Americas and the Pacific Ocean swallowing East Asia. This impact is powerful enough to strip the sedimentary rock layers off the continental shelf and flatten coastal mountain ranges like sandcastles. The seawater will penetrate thousands of kilometers inland at the speed of a jet plane, instantly turning former inland plateaus into the seafloor. A murky deluge, mixed with urban wreckage, rock fragments, and sediment, will conduct a thorough global cleansing, Human engineering feats like dams and fortifications will be as fragile as a soaked tissue against this force. The boundary between sea and land will be completely erased, and the Earth will momentarily become a turbid, swirling planet of fluid mud. Driven by immense kinetic energy, the water might even circle the globe a few times before slowly subsiding, burying all traces of civilization under thousands of meters of silt. If the atmospheric and oceanic disasters are mere skin deep, the violent changes within the Earth are the fatal internal hemorrhage. The Earth is an oblate spheroid, slightly bulging at the equator and flattened at the poles, maintained entirely by the centrifugal force of its rotation. The equatorial radius is about 21 kilometers longer than the polar radius. The moment rotation stops, the centrifugal force supporting this 21-kilometer bulge instantly vanishes. Earth's immense gravity will immediately take over, attempting to violently knead this spheroid back into a perfect sphere. This is an extremely violent geological process. The rigid crust cannot deform like putty. It will undergo massive, global fracturing. This means all fault lines on Earth will be simultaneously activated, and the entire globe will experience simultaneous super-earthquakes, exceeding magnitude 10 or even 11 on the Richter scale. This magnitude has never been recorded by human seismographs, releasing energy equivalent to tens of trillions of tons of TNT exploding at once. Entire continental plates will collide and shatter like ice floes, and the crust will be torn open by countless bottomless fissures. Magma suppressed deep underground will erupt through these cracks, forming firewalls stretching thousands of kilometers. Supervolcanoes that have been dormant for tens of thousands of years will erupt en masse, spewing billions of tons of ash and toxic gas into the stratosphere, obscuring the sky. The Earth's surface will revert to the Hadean Eon of 4 billion years ago. Magma flows, and the ground collapses. For any survivors, the land beneath their feet will no longer be a solid foundation, but a churning death trap. If you manage to survive the Earth's brutal geological reshaping, you will face a completely alien world map. With the disappearance of centrifugal force, seawater will no longer be pushed towards the equator, but will flow towards the poles, where Earth's gravitational pull is strongest, following the gravitational potential energy. This will lead to an unprecedented migration of the oceans. The oceans near the equator will completely dry up, revealing a vast seabed that forms an equatorial supercontinent, a landmass that encircles the globe and connects Asia, Africa, and the Americas. This new continent will be riddled with deep ocean trenches and the remnants of dead coral reefs. Conversely, countries originally located in the high latitudes of the northern and southern hemispheres, such as Canada, Russia, the Nordic countries, the UK, New Zealand, and southern South America, will be completely submerged under thousands of meters of new ocean. Earth's geography will become a pattern of land in the middle, oceans at the two ends. All existing port cities will become inland ruins or submerged relics. If you still hold a map of the old world, you can throw it straight into the fire, for it will be utterly worthless. Human survivors will not only face drastic environmental changes, but also the extreme compression and redistribution of living space, triggering a new round of tribal warfare. As the physical shock and geological turmoil gradually subside, the Earth will enter a long and brutal period of thermodynamic stabilization. Although the Earth has stopped spinning, it still revolves around the Sun. This means that an Earth day will now last a full year. The side facing the Sun will endure 6 months of continuous daylight. During these 6 months, the Sun hangs high in the sky, staring down at the land like a merciless eye. Due to the lack of air convection and cooling provided by rotation, the surface temperature will quickly climb. Temperatures in the equatorial and low-latitude regions will easily surpass 100 degrees Celsius. All surface water bodies, including lakes and rivers, will boil and evaporate completely. The ground will crack into hard pottery clay, and rocks will disintegrate under the high heat. This side will become an absolutely sterile, high-temperature sterilization chamber where all proteins will denature and coagulate. At the same time, the side of the Earth facing away from the Sun will experience 6 months of polar night. Without sunlight, heat will rapidly dissipate into space as infrared radiation, and temperatures will plummet to -80 degrees Celsius or even lower. Carbon dioxide, and even oxygen and nitrogen in the original atmosphere, might liquefy or even freeze into snowflakes due to the extreme cold. The entire hemisphere will be covered by thick ice, transforming into a silent, frozen hell. This extreme temperature difference will establish a new, incredibly violent global atmospheric circulation pattern. Hot air rising on the sunlit side and cold air sinking on the dark side, driving never-ending superstorms between the two hemispheres. In this doomsday scenario, a silent yet lethal killer is often overlooked: the collapse of the Earth's magnetic field. According to the mainstream dynamo theory, Earth's magnetic field is generated by the rotating motion of molten iron-nickel fluid deep within the core. If the Earth stops its overall rotation, the core's rotation, even if not instantly halted, will be severely disrupted, leading to a drastic weakening or complete disappearance of the magnetic field strength. The magnetic field is our only shield against solar wind and cosmic rays. Without this protection, high-energy charged particle streams will surge straight through, directly bombarding the Earth's atmosphere. First, the solar wind will strip the Earth's residual atmosphere layer by layer, making it increasingly thin. Second, high doses of radiation will directly irradiate the surface. This radiation is more than just a severe sunburn. It will sever the DNA strands within biological organisms, causing the exponential rise of acute radiation sickness, leukemia, and various malignant tumors. Even if you hide in an underground bunker, highly penetrating cosmic ray secondary particles will find you. All electronic devices, from sophisticated chips to simple generators, will be burned out by the electromagnetic pulse of solar storms. Human civilization will lose the physical basis for rebuilding technology. We will not only be sent back to the Stone Age, but to a Stone Age riddled with invisible toxins. On a planet torn between extreme heat and absolute zero, there is theoretically only one habitable zone: the Terminator line, the narrow band where day and night alternate. Here, the deadly heat wave from the sunlit side violently collides with the biting cold wind from the dark side. The resulting temperature might just barely remain within the range for human survival, perhaps between 0 and 30 degrees Celsius. But this is far from a sanctuary. On the contrary, this is the region with the worst global weather. The collision of hot and cold air masses will generate never-ending super thunderstorms, tornadoes, and downpours. The sky will be perpetually filled with lightning, and the ground will be eternally muddy. Even worse, since the Earth is still revolving around the sun, this Terminator line is not fixed. It moves about 100 kilometers daily as the Earth progresses in its orbit. The surviving humans must adopt a perpetual nomadic life. We must constantly calculate the sun's position, driving the last remaining vehicles or trekking on foot, forever chasing the sunset or forever fleeing the sunrise. This is an unending marathon. If your vehicle breaks down, or if you get sick and can't move, you will be frozen by the extreme cold behind you or roasted by the scorching sun ahead. Under this survival mode, cities, agriculture, and permanent settlements become impossible concepts. Human society will regress into small convoys fighting each other for fuel and food, desperately surviving in the midst of endless storms. In such extreme environments, Earth's proud biosphere will face complete formatting. The core of life is the flow of energy, and the foundation of Earth's ecosystem's energy is plant photosynthesis. During the 6-month dark period, half the world's plants will perish from lack of sunlight, while on the other half of the globe, plants will be scorched by the high temperatures. This means the organisms at the very bottom of the food chain will vanish instantly. Herbivores will die off en masse due to starvation within weeks, followed closely by the carnivores that feed on them. The marine ecosystem will also not be spared. The death of phytoplankton will lead to the collapse of the marine food web, and the toxins released by decaying corpses will turn the ocean into a poisonous soup. Furthermore, due to the changes in atmospheric circulation and the chaotic precipitation patterns, freshwater resources will become more precious than gold. Only a very few organisms with extreme adaptability, such as certain deep cave insects, extremophiles near deep-sea hydrothermal vents, or deeply buried fungal spores, might survive this mass extinction. For humanity, even with the aid of technology, large-scale agriculture will become a mere fantasy. We can only consume the canned food remnants of the old world. When the last can is opened and eaten, extreme hunger will force survivors to cross the line of humanity, and cannibalism will become the norm until the last human dies alone. The Earth's halt is not just a disaster for itself, it will also affect our sole natural satellite, the Moon. For billions of years, the Earth and Moon have been tidally locked through gravitational forces, like dance partners perpetually spinning together. If the Earth suddenly stops its rotation, the change in the distribution of the Earth's gravitational field will perturb the Moon's orbit. Although the Moon will not immediately crash or fly away, the mechanism of tidal friction will fundamentally change. The mechanism that helped stabilize the Earth's axis of rotation is gone, and over the next few million years, the Earth's rotation axis could undergo significant oscillation, leading to a climate that is even more chaotic and unpredictable. And viewed from the Moon, the Earth would be a chilling sight. The once blue and white, cloudy, vibrant blue planet has become a gray-yellow, scarred dead star. One side is perpetual scorched Earth, the other is perpetual ice. It no longer displays its full face every 24 hours, but stares rigidly into the cosmos like a desperate eye. The Moon becomes the sole witness to the last glow of human civilization, recording the final moments of a glorious civilization that once existed here. Imagine, if an extraterrestrial exploration team from a distant galaxy visited this non-spinning planet tens of thousands of years later, what would they see? They would find giant, wind-sand-buried metal skeletons on the new equatorial supercontinent, the remains of our former skyscrapers. Under the thick ice layers at the poles, they would use sonar to scan perfectly preserved underwater cities, where human remains still hold their posture of flight. They would find countless hard drives and servers, but without electricity, these silicon slabs would be meaningless to them. Shakespeare's poetry, Einstein's equations, Beethoven's symphonies, all the spiritual wealth that defined us as intelligent beings would vanish with the loss of Earth's inertia. The Earth will become a massive, silent museum, exhibiting the relics of a human civilization that was instantly annihilated by a tiny change in a physical law. This is not just the end of life, it is the death of meaning. The universe has lost an observer capable of looking up at the stars and contemplating its own existence. That is the greatest tragedy. The point of this thought experiment is not to induce anxiety, but to make us re-examine an overlooked truth. Movement is the essence of cosmic life, the very essence of existence. From electrons spinning wildly around atomic nuclei in the microscopic world, to galaxies rotating around black holes in the macroscopic world, to this planet beneath our feet that spins every moment. Stillness is a pseudo-proposition in the universe, synonymous with death. We often think of calmness as a symbol of safety, but in reality, our survival utterly depends on this crazy, never-ending dynamic equilibrium. It is the Earth's rotation that brings the cycle of day and night, regulates global temperature differences, drives ocean currents and the atmosphere, and generates the magnetic field that protects us. Every one of us, every single second, is an incredible miracle of this vast cosmos. This balance is so exquisite, yet so fragile. It reminds us how minuscule humanity is in the face of cosmic laws, and that all our civilizational achievements are built within a narrow slot of permissible astrophysical parameters. The good news is that while the Earth's rotation is indeed slowing down due to the Moon's tidal drag, with our day lengthening by about 1.7 milliseconds every century, it will still take billions of years for the Earth to stop completely. By then, the Sun will likely have become a red giant and swallowed the Earth. So, at least for tonight, when you turn off the lights and lie in bed, you can safely close your eyes without worrying about being flung into a wall by inertia tomorrow morning, or worrying that the sun, once risen, will never set again. But the next time you see the sunrise and sunset, feel a gentle breeze, or simply watch the second hand tick on a clock, hold a little more reverence, a little more gratitude in your heart. Because every seemingly ordinary second is an incredible miracle maintained for you by the universe through immense angular momentum. It is the ultimate reason we are alive. If you had the superpower to control the Earth's rotation, what would you use it for? To make the weekend longer, or to make a hated workday instantly disappear? Leave your thoughts in the comments section. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.